What's up, guys? Welcome back to the channel. Welcome back to another video. If you're stopping by the channel for the first time, please consider subscribing to my channel. And while you're at it, smash that like button for me. I really would appreciate it. Also, hit that post notification bell so that you're notified every time I upload a new video. It's been a crazy week, guys. 50-year mortgage loans, government shutdown ended, government basically about to reopen. Federal Reserve Chair Jerome Powell still not very optimistic about what's going on with what's happening with the shortage of data so that people can know exactly what's happening with the labor market, with the inflation. It's just a lot of stuff going on, man. And the potential we may not get a rate cut in December. So with all that going on, no wonder institutional investors, hedge funds, billionaires are starting to rotate back into money markets. Or is that their game plan all along, to snake us? We'll talk about that. Now, some of y'all might be saying, well, Richard, you said there was going to be a Christmas rally, this huge thing that takes place that could skyrocket everything in November and December. And I always tell you guys, I'm not an expert. I'm not a financial advisor. This is not financial advice. This is simply me just giving you my personal opinion on things, guys. And I just look at what history has done. And over the last several years, history says that the markets rally in the month of November and December. That doesn't mean it'll always happen that way. Apparently, in the month of November, at least the first part of November, the opposite has happened. The market has dumped. And I got to start asking myself, well, why is the market dumping? And again, I can't think emotionally about that. I got to actually think logically about that so that I really can understand and process what's really going on here. And hear me out. Here's my logic on it. Go back to April 2025 when Liberation Day happened. Of course, the markets dumped big time. Of course, your major investors stepped in, bought the dip. Now, a lot of us retail investors bought the dip as well. So I can't just say they're the only ones that bought the dip. A lot of retail investors bought the dip as well. And over the last 7 to 8 months, the markets have fully recovered and even went higher. Perhaps these major investors have decided that with all the volatility when it comes to interest rates, government shutdown, etc., why not take our profits, let this thing dip again, and then perhaps the end of November, early December, we start buying again to set ourselves up for a nice first quarter 2026 rally. Now, again, guys, this is all my personal opinion. I'm not saying that any of this is true. I'm just trying to think logically behind who actually benefits from a second dip. Who benefits in the long run or in the short run? And I always come back to the 1%. Because in my opinion, again, personal opinion, they manipulate all of this stuff. They can manufacture a rally and they can manufacture a dip. They just can because they own the media outlets. And all they got to do is hammer the media outlets with propaganda either way to get people to panic. The goal is for retail investors, at least from the 1%'s perspective, is to get us to sell when we should be buying and get us to buy when we should be selling. See, they want us to buy at all-time highs and they want us to sell at all-time lows. That's how they make money. So logically thinking, now that I know that, my job is to figure out how do I deploy my cash to give it the best opportunity to win. and win big. This is not financial advice. This is not me trying to tell you what to do when it comes to your investment decisions. You got to go out and do your own research and your own homework and figure that one out for yourself. Something just doesn't smell right to me, because historically speaking, November and December are strong months, man, when it comes to the stock market. And right now, it ain't looking too strong. Now, I know, like I said earlier, we got this government shutdown really weighed on investors. And now you got the likelihood that the Fed won't reduce short-term interest rates in their December meeting. So those two things right there. And the third big thing, again, guys, is the lack of data that's being presented to investors and the Fed. You know what I mean? It's a lot to be able to absorb, especially when you're dealing with billions and billions and even maybe trillions of dollars in the stock market. So I can understand institutional investors, hedge funds, billionaires, and even retail investors like us saying, hey man, we've had a good year. Let's move this money to the sideline for right now. Let this volatility clear out. And then let's get back at this thing maybe mid-December, and hopefully first quarter 2026 we can run this thing up. Now that is certainly a logical place to be, but here's where I gotta make sure I'm laser focused. Is I gotta be able to be in the market instead of trying to time the market. See, big investors, hedge funds, billionaires, institutional investors have an edge over us retail investors because they have privy to information that we don't have privy to. So I can't really time the market like those guys because they have information that help them time the market perfectly. And they also can manipulate the market to be able to get in at the perfect time. I can't do that. Most retail investors can't do that. So the way I've done it over the last 30 years is, instead of me trying to time the market, I'm just in the market. And the way I do that is through dollar cost averaging every single month on the 15th. And I just dollar cost average in, whether the market is up, whether it's down, whether it's sideways. Now, fortunate this month for me, the market's down. So my DCA will go a little bit further, buy a few more shares. But ultimately, over the next 9 or 10 years, if I continue to DCA and be disciplined, consistent, and patient, hopefully the market will do what it has done the last 100 years. And I will have a nice little nest egg for myself to enjoy retirement through passive income. So that's my game plan, guys. I can't predict the future. All I can do is lean on history. And history said we should have had a nice little November, December, but sometimes history doesn't repeat itself, guys. And this may be one of those times. It may be one of those times where history doesn't repeat itself in the month of November and December. Drop me some comments. Let me know what you guys think. What do y'all think is going to happen for the remainder of this year? Do you think there will be some type of Christmas rally, maybe late November, early December? Or do you think the market is going to continue to just dip as major investors and retail investors move money out of equities into money markets? You see what's happening with crypto. And I've often told you guys on this channel that I believe crypto is tied to the stock market. When the stock market does well, historically, crypto does well. When the market doesn't do as well, crypto doesn't do as well. So I'm a big believer in that. Again, this is just my personal opinion now, guys. I'm no expert here. Please go out and do your own research before you make any investment decisions. But go look at the history of Bitcoin, man, and see what Bitcoin does when the stock market does what it does. There's a correlation to me, but you have to go check that out. But thank y'all guys for checking out the channel. And if you're checking it out for the first time, please consider subscribing, share the video, smash the like button. Thoughts become things. You can see it in your mind, you can hold it in your hands. You guys keep chasing your greatness, never stop believing in yourself, stay healthy, get wealthy, and I'll catch you on the next video. Peace. Moomoo is going to give you some NVIDIA stock when you open up a new Moomoo brokerage account and make a deposit. All you got to do is get down to the first link in the description box. That's the Moo brokerage link. Click on it and get all the details on how you can get some NVIDIA stock. Don't delay, act today. Second link down in the description box is the Wealth Builders Financial Community on Patreon. Guys, all we do in that community is help each other build wealth, get to financial freedom and passive income. If you want to be a part of our team, all you got to do is click on that second link. It'll take you over to Patreon, and then come sign up for the fastest growing financial community on Patreon. We'll call the Wealth Builders.